Good afternoon. I am really excited about this package. This one is uh, something that's personally very exciting to me. So let's open it up. I'm doing this in my home office, the shed quarters, which is my backyard, and I've got to turn the air conditioning off because it makes a lot of noise and that makes it super hot in here. Invoice, don't need that. Field note sticker, love that. All right, let's see what we got. As always, I buy two because I keep one. Here's the Portland one. I don't have this one yet. So I bought one to keep, one to use. That was kind of cool. This is the one that I'm super excited about. Field Notes Appalachian Trail, but also includes the Continental Divide Trail and the Pacific Crest Trail. Now, the Appalachian Trail is one of my favorite places to be and hike. I first discovered it when I was like 10 years old, and I was at the Nantahala Outdoor Center or Nantahala Outdoor Center, and I saw the trail, and I was like, I got to do it one day. So every few years, 2 to 3 years or so, I go back and I hike a section of it. So this is super exciting to me. Yep. So I buy one and I keep one, and the other one. These are really beautiful. The Northern California series. These are awesome. All right, well, let's open them up. Let's start with the trail one. So let me get this box out of the way. These are my ones to open. These are my ones to keep. So let's check out the Portland ones first. Actually, I'm not going to open these. They're pretty standard. Um, I just didn't have them, so I added to my collection. So let's open these. Did I get it? Nope. All right. We got three of them here. Let's look at this card first. Beyond National Parks. The Field Notes Beyond National Park series debuted in the summer 2019 has been expanding ever since. Our new Explore America series adds beloved American natural areas, landmarks, and monuments found outside the national park system, illustrated by the artists of the 59 Park series. So I have the whole national park series, and now I have Northern California and the Triple Crown of hiking. That's cool. Okay, so let's look at the Appalachian Trail one. Ah, I love that. Oh, that's beautiful. See what it says. The Appalachian Trail. The Appalachian, illustrated by Benjamin Blau with the 59 Park print series. The Appalachian National Scenic Trail follows its why do they gotta use big words? Eponymous mountains through the 14 eastern United States, stretching 2,200 miles from Mount Katahdin, Maine, to Springer Mountain, Georgia. After conservationist Benton McKay's 1921 trail proposal was publicized in the Saturday Evening Post, many groups and individuals joined the initiative. It was mostly complete by 1936, but sections have been rerouted and improved since then. The 1968 National Park System Act named the AT as a National Scenic Trail. The AT is most famous, shortest, and accessible of the Triple Crown trails and passes more populated areas, so it's no surprise it's also the most focus. It's also the most hiked of the three. With more than 3 million visitors a year and thousands of attempted through hikes, about 1 in 4 finish. While the Appalachian Trail does not connect the northern and southern U.S. borders, it does serve as the bulk of the Eastern Continental Trail, which continues north to Newfoundland and south to the Florida Keys. Last time I was on the Appalachian Trail, me and a buddy hiked the Approach Trail, which is from Amalakoa Falls to Springer Mountain. And when we had gotten to Springer Mountain, there's a lady who just walked up and she sat down on the rock right next to the start of the Appalachian Trail. And she goes, "I did it." And I said, "What do you mean you did it?" She goes, "I just did all 3 trails, just completed it." I said, are you serious?" She's like, "Yes." She had completed all 3 of these trails and had finished right there with me. And it was just us and her, me, my buddy, and her, and we just kind of celebrated. But what a feat. All right, let's look at Pacific Crest Trail. I like that light blue grid dot. And let's see what it says. The Pacific Crest Trail, illustration by Chris Turnham. In 1920, Fred W. Cleater, the U.S. Forest Service, established the Skyline Trail, eventually traversing all of Oregon. 6 years later, Catherine Montgomery of Bellingham, Washington, proposed a trail through all 3 of America's westernmost continuous states. Continuous. Okay. Washington, Oregon, and California. Another 6 years passed, and Clinton Churchill Clark's of Pasadena, California, set the plan in motion. Clark's protege, Warren Rogers, spent his life promoting the Pacific Crest Trail and project until it became a National Scenic Trail under the National Trail System Acts of 1968. Today, the PC runs 2,650 miles from Canada to Mexico, mostly through the Cascade and Sierra Nevada mountains, featuring scores of parks, forests, wilderness, monuments, and recreation areas. The PCT also serves as part of the 6,875-mile Great Western Loop. Millions of hikers and equestrians visit the trail each year, and hundreds of through hikers complete the entire route. That's insane. That is beautiful. I can't wait to use this one. And then we have the Continental Divide Trail, which goes through the middle of the U.S. Looks like it's the same kind of light blue. Is this the same kind of yellow? No, different shade. Let's see. Illustration by Glenn Thomas. The newest and longest of the Triple Crown trails, the Continental Divide National Scenic Trail, is still under construction. It officially became the 3rd National Scenic Trail back in 1978, but today, only 69% of the trail is on the optimal protected route. Gap routes along the roads and through private land connect the rest, while the Continental Divide Trail Coalition and their private and public partners work to complete the trail. The roughly 3,100 miles through hike takes an average of 5 months, and the CDT is not only higher and longer than the AT and PCT, it also features more dangerous wildlife, fewer trail markers, divergent and often confusing route options, and is more distant from civilization and resources. For these reasons, few hikers attempt the full CDT through hike, though in some recent years around 2,000 completions have been reported. But like the scenic family-friendly day hikes, attracting many thousand. But like the others, the trail passes through many parks, forests, and resources, offering scenic family-friendly day hikes and attracting many thousands of visitors. Man, I'm super excited about these. These are really awesome. Oh, all right. Let's look at this. This is the California one. It'd be cool. I know it'd be a big undertaking, but it'd be cool if they did one for each state. I'd like to see Florida in there. Um, Come on. All right. So this one is part of the National Park series, except this is a dot grid, whereas the National Park series one is. So I can find it real quick. Oh, that's not it. No, that's not it. Here it is. A little bit different. This is the National Park series. Oh, it's different. Oh, I thought it was the same. This is Sequoia National Park, and this is the Muir Woods. I've been to the Muir Woods. Ah, I thought it was the same. It's different. How cool is that? That makes me even more excited. National Park series and Explore America series. Oh, that's okay. That gets me even more excited. Okay. And then you have the Golden Gate Bridge. But this is a really cool illustration. It reminds me of the old national park posters that you could get. What does this say? Just the Northern California one. What is this? Beyond National Park, Beyond National Parks, Northern California. I don't think there's anything the same exact thing on this side. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right, let's look at the Big Sur. I like that illustration. That's beautiful. And it's dot grid, which I can use. Sorry, just yeah, dot grid, and I prefer the actual grid. I think if I'm not mistaken, the grid is a little bit small, like a 5 by 5 millimeter. This might be a little bigger. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, not quite line up. They're a little bit not quite the same. I think they're a little bit more spaced out, but okay. Let's look at this. What does it say? The Big Sur Coast. Big Sur is a stretch of this is by Shepherd Ferry. Big Sur is a stretch of scenic coastline along the Santa Lucia Mountains on California's central coast between Carmel and San Luis Obispo. Until the construction of California State Route 1 began in 1919, using prison labor, the region was difficult to access. Even the native Assyrian people were few in number. The Spanish avoided it for 200 years, sailing past the rocky cliffs before establishing a few missions in the 1770s. By the 20th century, the indigenous population and culture had been virtually eliminated. Today, the only way through remains SR1, which is now designated as official National Scenic Byway. Big Sur's tourist and residential amenities remain limited by its remote location, environmental protections, and nature itself. Forest fires and landslides regularly shut down sections of the Big Sur for years. But the route rewards visitors with trails, camping, beaches, redwoods, resort towns, state parks, and natural reserves, and many unforgettable panoramic vistas where waves crash against jagged rock. That's beautiful. I love that one. I almost want to frame the trail ones, but all right, Muir Woods, and I've been here. This is really cool. I felt really small. I know it's not the biggest redwoods, but I felt really small on this one. But yellow in there, the same. It's like a light. Okay, Muir Woods National Monument. Illustration by Glenn Thomas. Muir Woods, the coastal redwood forest named for the father of the national parks, is not itself a national park. Situated along Mount Tamaulipas in Maine County, Redwood Canyon was part of the much larger redwood forest largely felled in the 1880s to build San Francisco. Politician William Kent, conservationist, good lord, Alice Eastwood, and others worked to acquire and preserve the area, squashing a plan to flood it to supply the water for Sausalito, and defending it when lumber demand skyrocketed after the 1906 earthquake. The woods became a national monument in 1908. Kent suggested naming it for John Muir, just before the men's friendship collapsed over Kent's support of flooding Yosemite's Hetchy Valley. And there you have it, the complete history of Muir Woods. There's nothing else to say. According to the Secretarial Order 3431, aka Restore Truth and Sanity to American History, there's absolutely no need to search Elizabeth Villano Muir Woods in your favorite web browser. Ooh, that's tempting. Cool. I love that. All right. Golden Gate Bridge. And I got to go here. It's actually a really cool feat of engineering. I love the light blue. All right. Check this one out. This is by Chris Turnham. Also, Chris Turnham also did... No, that's Shepherd. Is this Chris Turnham as well? We did one by Chris Turnham already. Nope. I wonder if it's... That looks similar. Is this Chris Turnham as well? Yeah. Okay, so they're similar. He did this one. What a great artist. I love that. Okay. Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate National Recreation Area is a collection of parks, beaches, and historic sites scattered in and around San Francisco, California. Its various tracks include Alcatraz Island, the Presidio, Marine Headlands, and Muir Woods National Monument, along with dozens of other sites spread out across 68 miles in 3 counties. The area attracts more than 15 million visitors annually, and there's absolutely somewhere something for everyone. 59 miles of coastline offers stupendous views of the city, Golden Gate Bridge, Bay, and Pacific Ocean. The park includes many museums and foreign military installations, 5 lighthouses, and 370 archaeological sites, some studying the Ohlone and Coast Miwok communities, others investigating more recent history. The GGNRA's 19 ecosystems feature hiking and camping in the midst of almost 4,000 plant and animal species. 1,439 historic structures feature 5 National Historic Landmarks and 13 sites in the National Register of Historic Places. That's cool. Man, these are beautiful. I love these. Look at those. Where'd the other one go? I missed. Oh, those are awesome. Well, anyways, thanks for hanging out. I'm glad I got to open these. I hope you guys are having a great day. Until next time, I'll see you in the shy quarters.